One thing I ended up learning the past couple of days that has helped me out tremendously in game and out of game. I watched this healthy gamer video, and he was interviewing Trihex, and this guy's like a speedrunner. He's like a Twitch streamer speedrunner. And the guy was talking about like the constantly need to grind and like the want to be number one. How if you like right when he wakes up in the morning, he just always feels like he wakes up like in quicksand. Like he's already behind the day. His competition's getting ahead of him. Like, you know, I gotta keep up. Like, and the shit he was talking about like really stuck with me. Like that's literally how I've been living for the past like 2-3 years. It's just like I just need to fucking work. Like I gotta go crazy. Like, you know, if I don't aim train today, like I'm a failure. Like I'm not doing good enough. And like literally like how my days would look. Like this is why I'm so adamant on balance, is because like when I talk about this shit and I talk about the stream, I'm more talking to myself. It's kind of just for myself, but you guys can benefit from it too. But like literally how my day used to be, it still kind of is like this. Wake up, I would shit and eat at the same time to save time. I still do it. It's like kind of normal now. And after I would shit, shower, get out, I would edit, make thumbnails, post a video, post on Reddit, post on Twitter, all that shit. Aim train. Right when I finish aim training, get in my car, drive to the gym. When I'm at the gym, work out. While I'm working out, I'm trying to like work on my like social skills and shit. So I'm talking to people, like trying to get out my comfort zone. Like I have to do this. I have to do this. And when I'm finished working out, go in the sauna. After the sauna, or go in the steam room. After the steam room, go to the sauna. Then cold shower, and then I'd fucking leave the gym, go to work. While I'm at work, I would watch demos, review my old notes, practice nades. Right when I'm prep work for tonight's practice, come home. Right when I get home, team practice, stream, and then get off, and I have like an hour to myself, and then go to bed. That's literally how my day was, dude. It was bad. Sigma male grind, dude. It's so bad for you though. It's so toxic. It's so bad for you. That's what I was gonna say. I did this because there was an anxiety of like, there was like a guilt almost if I didn't do it. And basically what Dr. K said in that video was that it's like the reason you have that guilt is because you have an expectation of yourself and like what you should produce. Like my ego was wrapped into Counter-Strike in a weird way. Like this is kind of how it is. It's like I'm Sammy. Like I'm Samurai. Like I'm Sammy. I'm supposed to be able to do this. And so if I like, that's the ideal I set in my head. And it's like if I don't do that, then I'm like I'm not living up to my expectations of myself. Like no one else's expectations were of that of myself. Like the other thing too is like I always felt the need I had to post daily. If I don't put, like people are gonna get pissed at me that I'm not posting enough. And it's like no one has that expectation on you. It's just all on me. It's all me on me. And it's all about like how I see myself identity wise. It was a big ego thing. Let me go through my notes because I'm gonna mess this up. I had a bunch of notes from this video, dude. So yeah, what he was trying to say though is basically is that like the want to be really good at the game, like for Trihex, you know, to be number one, to like be really good for his community and like, you know, make good content. Like same for me. Like I'd have like a want to do that. Like that's a good thing. It's a good thing to try and push yourself and be the best person you can be. But that can get warped and twisted by your ego and your own self, and it can be turned into something toxic. So like the need to constantly be on that grind, the grind set. You know what he basically said is like you got to realize like something like this, like going pro, like that shit is a main quest. It's a main quest in life. That's something that's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of work, and trying to get it like instantly, just I gotta work so I can get it like, you know, within a year. Like that shit's not gonna help anyone out. It's just gonna be really toxic. It's actually gonna make you play worse. So it's like you gotta like just accept that it's a main quest. It's gonna take some time, right? What he said is like he used an analogy for doctors, right? He said that they'll tell doctors in medical school that you can't save a life, but you can try. Same thing goes for going pro or whatever the fuck you're trying to pursue, right? You can't go pro, but you can try. If someone's a doctor and you know they have a client or not a client, a patient, and like the patient's dying, and they're like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be a good doctor. I'm supposed to be able to save him. Like one, that gets you out of the actual present of actually trying to save the patient because you're too worried about yourself and your own shortcomings. And then two is that like you can't always save patients, like just like how you can't always achieve everything, but you can always try your best. And that's the main thing, is just to try your best and acknowledge the fact that you're not shit. It sounds weird, but you have to acknowledge the fact you're not shit, but you're gonna try your best. Like, yeah, you know, there's a good chance I don't go pro, but I'm gonna still try my hardest. You know, that's all it comes down to. Instead of being so attached to the outcome, because when you get attached to the outcome, then you're gonna start doing toxic things to achieve it. The other thing I realized too, so because this stems from like your expectations of yourself, your ideas of yourself, people will always hear this advice like don't compare yourself to others, compare yourself to yourself, which is good advice, but this shit can turn it out to be bad advice, because that's what I was doing to myself. It's like I was comparing myself to myself, but it wasn't really myself, if that makes sense. It was like a heightened version of myself that I like set out. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like I had this idea of what I'm actually capable of, and it was just inhuman. Like 24/7 grinding, 24/7 working, like that's just inhuman. So it's like I thought I was comparing myself to myself, but it really wasn't myself. I was comparing myself to a unrealistic idea of myself, and that's not fair. Like I'm human, you know, I'm gonna take breaks, I'm gonna cheat on my diet. That was the only two. When I was like on that crazy grind, I was cutting weight too. Like I was eating 1900 calories a day, like just fucking grind in every aspect possible. Meditate at night too, like fucking ridiculous. So the thing is that when you have these expectations of yourself of like what you should be able to achieve, like that literally makes you play worse, bro. Like one of the, like Dr. K said, one of the prerequisites of entering the flow state and being in the zone is to not have expectations. So like by having expectations, you're fucking yourself over because you're not going to be present and actually focus on the task. And I noticed that like if I was doing an aim train benchmark or something and I didn't, and I would have an expectation of what number I should hit. If I had I would always play worse. But if I was doing like an aim train benchmark and I was just doing it, whatever, just I was in the zone and I had no expectations of what numbers I should hit, I would always PR. And that's what it is. Like you have to be present in the very moment that you are in. And like you can't have expectations. Like that fucks you up. Having an ego fucks you up. It makes you play worse, bro. That's pretty much like most of what I had. You just have to acknowledge the fact that you're human. You're gonna make mistakes. You're not gonna always be the best. And a lot of that guilt comes from like unrealistic standards you set for yourself. And that's something I had to like learn, and it's really helped me out a lot. Like I think that's where that's the need to constantly make the most perfect 100% calls comes from, was that this unrealistic standard I set for myself. And it made me literally call worse and play worse. So like for anyone out there who's like experienced the same shit, like that's